Welcome everyone to the ETBU Basketball Show. I'm Kenneth the K-Rock Klein alongside with Mark T. Robinson, and today we're going to be having an interview with both head coaches, Rusty Rainbolt and Brandon Kern, as they talk about their respective seasons. But before we get into that, let's quickly recap the basketball season. It's fair to say that it's been going well.
I think that's a bit of an understatement, but this has been a historic season for both teams, really. I mean, I don't think I've ever been a part of a program that has been this successful on both ends. Both teams have the exact same record. I think there's some kind of competition going on to see who comes out and on top. But it's been a fantastic season on both sides, Kenneth.
Yeah, definitely. Obviously, we're gonna ask those questions with Coach Kern and Rainbow. If there's a little competition between the two of them there. But anyways, let's quickly recap. So, like we said, both same records: 16-3 overall, 10-2 in conference play. That's good for. Tied for first place. The men's team tied with Laterno. The women's team tied for UT Dallas. Let's talk about the men's team first. Obviously, two big wins, but Thursday night's game, I mean, I don't know if I've ever recovered from the after effects of that one.
Yeah, I was a little bit worried about you, Kenneth, that you were doing all that. You were kind of going off the rails a little bit. I was like, I wonder if he's going to be okay after that. But no, it was a fantastic finish. It just really, it came down to the wire, even though we had that 8-point lead with about 3 or 4 minutes left, and then they came back on us. But Weston Riddick was there to hit that big shot. It was great that the guys never gave up, and I know the head coaches have got to be excited about that finish.
Yeah, definitely. Of course, from my perspective, I knew there was still a chance, but you're just kind of thinking, I honestly don't know what I'm more surprised with. The fact that, Weston shot the ball with 2 defenders in his face, or the fact that he shot that from not necessarily NBA range, but if it were like the Big 3 league, it would count as 4 points. So, but
yeah.
it was an unbelievable moment as well.
Oh, it definitely was. I mean, that's honestly, I think that was the iconic moment of the season so far. Whether we go on to win the tournament or not, I think that was a very iconic moment, and just for the fact that the entire team was celebrating, the crowd was celebrating, they was into it, and it was just a great atmosphere all the way around. But the interesting thing is going to be, Kenneth, is when they go on the road, they're facing Tyler again this weekend. So that is going to be a very, very interesting matchup.
Yeah, definitely. And another interesting matchup, we played Ozarks this past Saturday, came away victorious, 91-71 the final score, but we then play them this Thursday. So this is definitely going to be a very odd week. I kind of like to compare it to letter V. Basically, you start with the starting point, and then you go down to the middle, and then you inverse it to where you have to play in reverse order of the scheduling. So it's definitely going to be a challenge as far as playing Ozarks again. And obviously, because I think it benefits both teams, to tell you the truth.
And honestly, it's a tough thing to do, but it's the life of college sports. You're on the road a lot, and our teams know all about being on the road. I mean, we've been on the road now, I feel like, for the past month and a half. I feel like we played all of our games on the road almost, and only about 3 or 4 at home. But again, it just makes the team that much better. But it's going to be a challenge because, you beat Ozarks here in Ornelas Gymnasium this past weekend, but now you got to go to their place and do it again. So obviously, as head coach Kern and Rainbolt as well, we're talking about as teams make adjustments. They know what you're going to do. They know how you're going to come out. So it's going to be important for both our teams to just kind of continue to be focused and not play down to the opponent, because this is a game you're expected to win.
Right, definitely. And of course, right before, we don't want to cause any concern and all that, let's talk about the women's basketball team as well. They went 1-1 last week, but obviously circumstances beyond their control, whether it was injuries or the fact that they lost 4 key players against UT Tyler. There was a 5-point loss, but you got to give them a lot of credit. I mean, if I were a Tyler fan, I'd probably be just breathing a sigh of relief saying, oof, got away with that one. Imagine what's going to happen when they come to our place with a full team. But that's definitely going to be a very interesting atmosphere, because I think the lesson that should be learned is, if you want to try to put an ETBU away and bury them, you got to make sure the nails are as hard as they can possibly be, because it's going to be tough to put away ETBU no matter who's on the roster.
Yeah, absolutely, Kenneth. And just what you brought up is that Tyler even though they came out with a win, it was an escape for them. They're breathing a sigh of relief for sure. And I'm encouraged about what I saw personally in that game on the women's side is the fact that I think they played harder than they played in most of their games this season. And that's not saying, and that's saying a lot actually, because this team comes out, they execute well, they play very, very hard from start to finish. So it was a tough loss on their side, but I know Coach Rainbolt is still encouraged about it. But again, like we said, it's going to be a very interesting matchup come this weekend. Let's see what happens between the Tigers and the Patriots.
Definitely, especially considering the fact that the last time ETBU has defeated UT Tyler was about 8 years or so ago. So obviously a little frustrating to say the least, but it is going to be a bit challenging considering that we're playing in Tyler as well. So this Thursday we're taking on Ozarks at 5:30 p.m. and 7:30 p.m. in Clarksville, and then Saturday we follow that up with a 2 and 4 p.m. game in Tyler against UT Tyler Patriots. Oh, and interestingly enough, I think this might be a situation where we're playing both the Eagles and the Patriots, and
yeah, definitely.
Guess who's in a Super Bowl?
Yeah, exactly.
So definitely going to be fun. All right, folks, when we come back, we're going to have Coach Rainbolt and Coach Curran to chat with in just a moment. Welcome back. We're now joined by our head men's basketball coach, Brandon Curran, and our head women's basketball coach, Rusty Rainbolt. Now, of course, obviously, they decided to do this interview together because, well, they have two teams that have the same record, 16-3 overall and 10-2 in conference record. First question for you two: is there some sort of competition between you two guys as far as who gets the better record overall, or is it just fun just watching each other do well?
Yes, we walk out every single day saying we want to beat those sorry guys of ETV. We're trying to no.
I was so glad when they lost to UT Tyler with only 4 players because we finally caught them.
Yeah, well, there you have it, folks. That's a good way to start this interview. So, all right, but in all seriousness, welcome you two together. Obviously, it's always nice to talk to you guys. So just a quick couple of questions, first of all. Coach Rainbolt, this, of course, being your first year here at ETBU, you had a bit of an interesting challenge to try to kind of figure out a way to get your team chemistry to come together really as quick as possible before the season started. So what were some of the challenges early on that you had to face coming into the season?
Well, anytime you know, obviously you take over a new program, you're trying to, everybody says it, but you're just trying to establish culture, and culture is just the acceptable norms of a business or an organization. And so what we wanted to do is initially find the right people that could be a part of this, and then get those people in here and make sure they understood the vision and establish those norms that were going to be the way in which we interact every day. And so it is hard. I'm not going to sit here and lie. It is hard to get a group of 15, 20 people that are all new, come from different backgrounds, different walks of life, and are all coming to the same university, the same program. But you'd like to say we all have the same focus, but at times you don't. And you can say you do, but the reality is you don't. And I think that's probably what makes this team special from the coaches down, is just the fact that these girls have truly committed, and the coaches have committed to trying every day to do it in the right way and serve the Lord and be selfless and love each other. And so I think it's been really fun. We met in here last night as a team after practice and just talked about, like, this is a special place. And oftentimes, even when things are going good, people can find themselves looking, to the grass is greener in a different situation. It's just natural for everybody to do it, whether you're in a marriage or you have a job or you're on a team or whatever. You just find yourself questioning, but it's even in good times, you find yourself wanting more, seeking more. And so, but I told them, and they all agreed, like, this is a special place. We have a great university. We have great leadership. We have a great athletic department. And, we get to work with these guys who, the best group of men I've ever got to be around in terms of players. I mean, they have a great group of guys and coaches. And so it's just been a blessing.
Coach Curran, any thoughts you want to tack on to what Rusty just said, or would you like to create your own separation from him?
He's going to want a whole nother answer.
I was just sitting here thinking about what Audrey was going to think when you said question in marriage. That was brave. No, I mean, I'll just echo what he said. I mean, it's been an honor and a privilege, and I'm so thankful that the Lord has called Rusty and his staff here, and just getting to grow together in the Lord and walk in the kingdom with him and be led by the Spirit with him and to get to learn from him and grow with him has been such an honor and a privilege, and I'm thankful to the Lord for bringing him here.
All right, so you guys had like 19 games combined, so just between each of you guys, although I'm not sure this would be a question to ask, but what's been the most exciting game that you guys have ever coached in so far this season? I mean, I think I might know the answer to your question, Coach Curran, but you never know. But what about, we'll start with you, Coach Rainbow. What about you?
The most exciting game that we've been a part of this year. Every one of them, to be honest, it's weird. Every one of them has taken on a person of its own. Even in the 3 losses, they've all had highs and lows. But I definitely would say that the first win at Centenary was a relief. The win against Mary Hardin-Baylor was a big one. But if you just say which win sticks out more than any this year, it'd been their win against Tyler. To be honest, I was sitting there in the stands after we lost, just being discouraged and frustrated and down, and they were up and then they were down in a moment, and it's like, oh my goodness, how is this going to happen to both of our teams tonight? And I found myself like I was praying with 8.8 seconds left on the clock for their team. I was sitting in the stands praying, Lord, give these guys favor. And then Weston hits that shot, and it's like, okay, Coach, you need to thank me because I was praying for your guys to have favor tonight. But, no, like I say, I think it's what's special is like we love their program, and I know they love us. And so when they won that game the other night, it was honestly, as hard as it was as a night for us as a team on the women's side, it was such a blessing that they got to win that game. And so just looking back, that would probably be the one that stood out to me the most is their win the other night.
Okay, Coach.
Well, I appreciate that. And with 8 seconds to go, they were shooting free throws, and I was praying too. And I went back and watched film. I wasn't calling timeout, so I was definitely over there praying. But I was thinking on the girls' side even, I know it was a hard game for them, but the game against UT Tyler, where they did have girls out injured and suspended, and I just thought the girls played their hearts out. I loved the fact that some of their developmental players came in and made plays for them and got to step up and play that role, and I thought his players really displayed what it looks like to play college basketball in the kingdom of God by loving each other and by sacrificing for each other and playing hard for each other. And I was really, really proud of his girls during a really, really hard time. I just thought they did a great job. And for us, I mean, it's been an incredible journey just to hear the Spirit speak before games, and we talk about, what is the most memorable game. I mean, there's really been so many memorable moments that fans don't get to see. Just one day praying before a game, just letting the Spirit that Brady Moore was supposed to share with our team before the game. And the guy delivered an incredible message on the gospel and how the Lord brings you through adversity and how a brother is there for you in times of adversity. And it was just a really Holy Spirit-led message that he brought. And so that was an incredible, memorable moment that we've had from this year. I think going into LeTourneau, coming off a loss from UT Dallas, and just what the Lord did in the hearts of our guys for that game in terms of belief and believing in each other and teaching us about how just our past experiences, so many times as we go through life, we look at our past experiences and we judge our current situation based off our past experiences, and so many times that's not true. Like what we believe to be true about the future is not true, when we need to be walking in the Spirit and asking the Lord what is true about right now. And so just what we got to learn through that LeTourneau game regarding that. And then for me as a coach personally, the UT Tyler game was a surreal experience because honestly before that game the Lord told me through the Spirit that I'm going to show you that I am doing this. We read Deuteronomy 8, 17, and 18 after that I'm doing this by my strength and my power and my grace, meaning the Lord is doing it. And before the game, he told me, don't talk to your team. You tell them that you love them and you're thankful for them. And so that's what I did. I didn't give strategy or anything. I just went in. I told the guys I loved them and I was thankful that the Lord had brought them here. And then they came in. Jeremy gave them the starters, and I literally pointed at the door. Didn't say a word. And it's funny, I even go back and I watch the last 8 seconds of that game, and 10 times out of 10, I would have called a timeout with the guy shooting free throws, and for whatever reason that night I didn't. And I think, when the Weston hit that final shot, I was just sitting there thinking, the Lord is truly in control. The Lord is graceful. The Lord is doing this year through our guys and hopefully growing and transforming our guys. I know He's certainly made us into a family. And the crazy thing is, K-Rock, that is happening all the time, every day, every game. Just walking by the Spirit, praying that the Lord will let this be a college basketball program in the kingdom of God. And I've seen Him do it. It's been an incredible experience.
Yeah, I've seen that happen as well. So just a couple more questions. When you guys are having a winning season with the way you guys are now, is it kind of easier? Does it kind of make your job pretty easier, or do you still kind of take it as you got to take it one game at a time approach?
Oh, it's easy. You know, we show up about 10:30 every day, and I mean, I sit in there with my feet propped up on the deal and just watch Netflix, to be honest with you. But no, I don't know. I don't think, no matter where you're at in the season, whether you're at the bottom, you're in the middle of the pack, or you're at the top, for me, and I've been at all three, I think the challenges are the same, because if you're at the bottom, you're just trying to survive every day to get a win, just to create hope. If you're in the middle of the pack, you see that glimmer of hope of we could go from average to a good team, and you're fighting so hard to get up, to being a championship level team. And then when you're at the top, and I would say this has happened with our team through the last probably 3 weeks. We went from being a team that was just playing every game like it was just a one-game season, not focused on the big picture, to there's been about the last 3 weeks where we realized we've got a shot to win this thing. And so the focus changed, and that is completely my fault, where we took our eyes off of truly just making it about every single day, working hard, being a family, loving each other, and then saying, you know what, we do have a chance to win this, so let's just add this in. And it didn't do any good. And again, it starts with my leadership, and I'll be the first one to just say that. So to answer your question, it's not easy, but by God's grace, and we were talking about this morning as we were all in there praying and talking. Yesterday the Lord kind of just it took the blinders off my eyes to realize, just get back to just doing what you did initially of promoting these girls, loving them, investing in them, and seek first the kingdom, and everything else will be applied to you. And so that's what we talked about last night as a team. But I don't know. I think there's challenges whether you're at the bottom, you're in the middle, or you're at the top. But it's definitely not easy either way. But you have to make yourself keep the first things first, and that's truly just investing in your relationship with the Lord.
Coach?
Yeah, I agree with everything that he said. And, when you're winning, it's a lot more fun, I think. The kids are enjoying it and having a good time. But again, this is a ministry for both of us. Our hope is at the end of the year that the Lord, by His grace, has grown leaders in our programs, everybody. And that's not picking a few kids. That is all of them, that He would transform their hearts and their minds, that they would have a relationship with Him, that they would know what it is to walk in the kingdom and to be able to hear the Lord's voice and walk by the Spirit and have a relationship with Him. And that's our focus. And the focus that, we were just talking to our team, just needs to be every day, continuing to love each other, continuing to serve each other, continuing to sacrifice for each other. I think those are kingdom things. And so we're just going to try to focus on those things here till the end of the season.
All right, coaches, I should say, because there's two of you here. One final off-the-wall question, just to put you on the spot. Are you guys going to be identifying yourself as a Patriot, or are you going to have wings as Eagles this week? If you know what I'm talking about.
I do not know what you were talking about, K-Rock.
All right. In other words, Patriots or Eagles.
Cowboy.
Okay.
Those other teams don't even register for me. That's, Adam, I'm sure he's living it up. But, the Cowboys are going to win the Super Bowl, right?
Okay.
There's a football game this weekend.
Okay.
I know we play Ozarks on the Ozarks are the Eagles, right? And then we play the UT Tyler Patriots.
That's even worse. Oh my God.
So I plan on being a Tiger this weekend.
Okay. Yeah, that's a good answer there. All right, coaches. Thanks very much, and we'll have more of them as we continue on with this program. So stick around.
Well, that concludes a very interesting interview with both Rainbow and Current. Obviously, when you have the same records and there's no separation between the two of them, you got to do it together, I guess.
Yeah, I guess so. And obviously those guys are really great friends. They've got great chemistry, and just as both teams do. So, like I said, this is definitely a program that that God definitely has his hands in and just leading this program. So it's been very, very special to watch, and it's special for us to cover as well for this entire year, Kenneth.
Right. Well, that's going to do it for the basketball show this week. Reminder, if you want to follow more on ETBU Athletics, you can go to our website at goetbutigers.com. You can also follow us on our Instagram page and Twitter pages as well, and even our Facebook page. You don't want to forget about Facebook as well.
Definitely. Don't forget about that.
So Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, we pretty much got social media all over the place, and even Snapchat, of course. Well, folks, that's going to wrap it up here. Reminder, this Thursday, we're playing Ozarks at 5:30 and 7:30 p.m. in Clarksville, and then Saturday, Tyler, 2 and 4 p.m. as well. So looking forward to traveling up to both games, as Mark and I will get to experience, and another trips to another hotel and spending another night on the road.
Yeah, we're used to that. So, I mean, that's nothing new. But the question is, are you going to be able to get up in time and not get left by the bus?
Oh, now wait a minute. I'll be up by then. I'm hoping that you won't miss the bus. All right, folks, that'll wrap it up. For Mark T. Robinson, I'm Kenneth K. Rock Klein saying so long, and we will see you next time on the ETBU Basketball Show.